We live like mortals, we just live our ordinary lives, but we act as if we'll have 1,000 years to do all the things we want to do. We don't. Whilst you're alive, whilst you're present, urgency is upon you. Welcome back to the Everyday Stoic with myself, William Mulligan, author of The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life. Today's episode is 7 Stoic don'ts. 7 things that the ancient Stoics said not to do. So in this day and age, we're always looking for things to do, the new hack, the new routine, the new secret, the new trick in order to become successful. But they thought it was easier. It's stripping things back and not doing things. So this is the easiest hack to improve your life. And getting rid of these 7 things will drastically improve your life, your happiness, your confidence, and your overall well-being. This is the guide to the good life as laid out by the ancient Stoics. The first Stoic don't, and this has become worse and worse. The more social media grows, the worse this gets. This is don't argue what a good man is. And this comes from the quote by Epictetus, the Greek-born crippled slave. It's a great man. He said, don't argue what a good man is, be one. And you see this all over Twitter, X, you see this all over Instagram, all over the news now, and we've probably become guilty of this. We're arguing online saying, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. You've done this wrong, you're an idiot. I could do this better. And you're putting all this energy, a lot of energy, into arguing what a good man is. And you're not putting any energy into actually being a good man. As Epictetus also said, don't talk about your philosophy, embody it. And the point is, if you actually want to improve your life, you want to become a better person, you want to make the world a better place, it comes from becoming the change you wish to see in the world. I'm sure that's famous. I know that's a famous quote. I can't remember who said it. Famous quote, become the change you wish to see in the world. Don't argue what a good man is. Be a good man. If you find yourself on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you're there arguing about what you should and shouldn't do and lambasting someone, lamenting them, attacking them, actually think, are you guilty of the same things you're doing? Are you not guilty of being a guy online or a girl online that's trolling and attacking people when really you could get to work now on your character? Start the work now on your character. And, in no time you become someone quite amazing, quite unrecognizable. Not that you're not already amazing, but someone even more amazing than you are now. I've noticed that when you stop looking to criticize people and start looking to work on yourself, being the change you wish to see, life improves very quickly. So, the second Stoic don't is, and this idea came from Dr. Michael Segro, a great mentor, one of my favorite lecturers, just an incredible man. Don't pity yourself. And this comes from his quote. The idea came from his quote, all men suffer, but not all men pity themselves. Because I've said this, I've said, don't pity yourself. I've put it out there onto Instagram. And people have said, yeah, but you don't know my life. You don't know this. You don't know what happened to me. And that's true. I don't. And I'm sure most of you out there have had much more difficult lives than me and much more suffering. But I believe that self-pity is the death of solution. And I've been there. I remember when I was a young labourer and I was very unhappy with life. I was in a dark place, and it was like just a downward spiral of self-pity every day, and you're just going deeper and deeper and deeper down. And the reason I say self-pity is the death of solution is because even if life presents you with a golden goose, even if life presents you the key, you look at that key and you say, well, there's another locked door behind that door. Or this is a trick, whatever it is. Because self-pity is the death of solution. No matter what life hands you, you're going to keep pitying yourself and saying, that's not right, this isn't the answer. And coming back to people who have had hard lives, believe it or not, Emperor Marcus Aurelius, which is where most of our Stoic teachings come from, because he was the most famous Stoic, he's one of the most famous figures in history, and his surviving works have laid down the fundamentals and the blueprints for much of the Stoicism that we teach today. Marcus Aurelius, every time I talk about him, I'll get a few trolls or a few comments saying it's easy for Emperor Marcus Aurelius to say. Emperor Marcus Aurelius didn't have to worry about money, didn't have to worry about this, didn't have to worry about the stress of getting to work on time. Believe it or not, being Emperor of Rome during the Marcomannic Wars and during the Antonine Plague is a very stressful thing. But then add to it, he was ill most of his life. He lost 9 of his own children before his own death. His surviving heir, his son Commodus, was a nightmare, like an actual nightmare, like an evil person. He, like I said, he fought in the Marcomannic Wars, the Antonine Plague, lost so many of his friends and family. And when he's talking in his books about not being able, people might want to hurt you, want to intend harm, you don't know what people are really like behind your back. He's literally talking about the friends and the people and advisors he had around him from him being such a young little boy, stepping into this position. Many of them were conspiring to kill him, to manipulate him, to trick him, to end his life. He had a very stressful life and he was aware of all this, but, he didn't complain about it. He didn't pity himself. So the first 2 Stoic don'ts is don't argue what a good man is. And the second one is don't pity yourself. The third one, I'll just explain something, is when people think of Stoicism, this myth of Stoicism, this misunderstanding is that Stoicism is about I. And that's actually why I first got into Stoicism. It was about I. I wanted to become confident. I wanted to become strong, not caring. I wanted to be an island. I. It was all about me. But I learned very quickly that's not what Stoicism is about. And I think many people believe Stoicism is about being this island, being this alpha male, this person that takes nothing from no one. That's completely wrong. Stoicism is about this interconnectedness of all of us, every single person. And the ancient Stoics taught of this. They believed in this divine logos, which I'm not going to explain in this episode. You'll understand it in a further episode. It's very... it's a topic to talk about for another day. But basically, the world was this big thing that's ordained by God, in a sense. And all of us, all of our natures and all of our purposes, our destinies are all meshed together, woven together by Clotho, the goddess. So in a way, we're all interconnected, like fabric. And all our lives are meshed together because in a sense, we're all one and the same. We're all brothers and sisters of this universe. That's what the Stoics believed, that we're all basically brothers. That's what I get a sense from Marcus Aurelius. That's how he's seen everyone. And going a step further, maybe believing that we're all a part of each other. So you love a stranger like you love yourself. You care for a stranger like you care for yourself. We're all just as important on the universal scale. So don't be selfish. But the thing is, being selfish, being self-driven, it doesn't lead very far in life. Faster alone, further together. As I say, you will at the start, life seems easy. I remember most of my life, actually, I thought I was an introvert and didn't like people and didn't need people. Just the way I'd grown up thinking, you don't really need people. I was completely wrong. The more I studied Stoicism, the more I learned about myself, the more I realized that you long for human connection. You long to be a good member of a society. You long to work together with others. Marcus Aurelius said we work together like the rows of teeth, the eyes, the feet. Humans work together like that. We work so well together and we need it. And many people believe that is human nature, this working together, this connection that we have with other people. We're social creatures. There's not many social creatures, but social creatures, and we've observed this in animals, during observations of social animals, that when they are removed from their society, they become depressed. They start acting like maniacs. Neuroses come out. And that happens to humans. So don't be selfish. The fourth Stoic don't And to understand this one, we have to understand the dichotomy of control, which if you're listening to me, I'm pretty sure you understand now. So I won't go into too much depth. But as Epictetus, the Greek-born crippled slave, this amazing Stoic philosopher, an incredible Stoic philosopher, this great mentor, he said, and this is a famous quote that revolutionized modern day psychology. It branched off many stems: cognitive behavioral therapy, rational emotive behavioral therapy, that we're using today. Anyway, Epictetus said some things are within our power, some things are not. Within our power, our opinion, motivation, aversion, and desire. And in a word, whatever is of our own doing, this internal world. Not within our power, our health, wealth, reputation, office, and in a word, whatever is not of our own doing, the external world. We control this, and we don't control that. The point is, and the Stoics believed massively, this was very important, that we do not waste our mental faculty worrying about things outside of our control, the things that we cannot control, the weather, the traffic, people's opinions, our reputation. Don't worry about that. Worry about the internal, our opinion, motivation, desire, aversion. What do I mean by this? You don't control the traffic, but you control how you react to the traffic. So you focus on your reaction. You don't control your reputation. I know many people think, I do control my reputation. You can be the best person in the world, but you're still garner haters. You're still garner lies. People will gather around to watch you fall. People love to watch the hero fall. So you don't control these things, but you control how you react to it. You control your opinion, your motivation, your desire and aversion, the things you go towards, the things you move away from, and the way you feel about all this. So do not worry about things outside of your control. It is futile. It's pointless. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And I know many of you will say, but worry is natural. I can't help but worry. That is true. The Stoics also believe this. You talk about the Athenian Stoic. He's on a ship, and the ship is in a violent storm. And this Stoic was a famous teacher, known for saying the same things I'm saying today, except he wasn't telling a story because he wasn't telling a story about himself. You get my point. But anyway, it's an addition to my new teachings. This teacher, during a storm, he went pale, the blood rushed from his face, he was shaking, he looked like he was sobbing, he was scared. And afterwards, one of the people on the ship came up to him and kind of mocked him and said, oh, you talk about not getting scared, but look at you. And he ignored this guy. Then another guy actually was curious, was like, how come you teach us not to get scared, you teach us not to worry, but you looked scared and worried, probably more than I was. And he said, rightfully so, because modern day psychology understands this, you can't help these fears. They present themselves. They're like a flash in your face. And as we say, the first arrow always hits. That's the first arrow hitting you. You get scared and you're like, oh no. But it's your choice to let that second arrow hit. And that's what the Athenian Stoic on the ship said. He said, look at me afterwards. Am I complaining? Am I pitying myself? Am I crying? No. I did those things in a moment. I couldn't control it. My body was overtaken by these things. But I've trained my body to not add to this. So even though I was scared, I didn't get worse. I stayed calm in some sense. So that was, don't worry about things outside of your control. And sometimes you do get these things, but you don't have to add to them. You don't have to add pity and worry. The fifth Stoic don't, and this comes from my understanding of Marcus Aurelius, because he talks about not being a slave nor tyrant. And this is a common theme, actually, being a slave. The slave mentality is believed by modern historians. This slave mentality is sort of a victim mentality. They used it in that sense. So slave mentality is sort of giving up, complaining about your life, saying, woe is me, that kind of thing. And then a tyrant mentality, as Marcus Aurelius talks. Bear in mind, he was emperor of Rome, and many of the people that came before him were tyrants. Many people that came after him, Emperor Nero, tyrant. His son, tyrant. These people, there's like a scale where on one end you're the slave and you're the victim and you're complaining about life. You're in a way like it's kind of pathetic. But then on the other end, you're the tyrant. You're pushing people down. You're horrible, and that also is just as pathetic. And you get somewhere in the middle where you find that you can be a man or a woman. There's strength. So don't fall for the trap of thinking, I don't want to be a slave, so I have to not care about people. I have to take control. Because I'm seeing this all over online. It's about like being this alpha male that doesn't care about anything. It's about taking advantage of people because everyone's out to get you. No one really loves you. I see it all the time. Men aren't loved. The only person that loves a man truly is his dog. It's not true. That's such victim mentality. But that slave mentality leads to the tyrant mentality where they go, well, everyone hates me, everyone's against me, I need to be this alpha, let's be the tyrant. But you find that mid-ground. It's a beautiful place to be. The sixth Stoic don't. This is the most important thing in life, I think, and it sounds like an oxymoron, it sounds contradictory, and maybe even scary to some people. And if you're not new to this channel, you already know this. I say this probably every single video, but I never tire of saying it because it's so important. And the more I think about this, the more I teach it, the more it seeps into my mind, the more important I think it is. And I just can't fathom just yet the importance of this teaching. And maybe one day in my life, I'll get to a point where I understand how important this is. Don't forget death. The sixth Stoic don't forget death. The Stoics, not just the Stoics, Christian writers, Buddhists, Stoics, everyone, pretty much, most teachings taught to remember our own mortality, the importance of the gift of life that we have. And the importance of the gift of life that we have is lost when we ignore the fact that we are mortal. So the Stoics say, memento mori. I use that, not that one, but I use a memento mori calendar. That one's for decoration. I use a memento mori calendar where every day, every week, you cross off a week of your life. And it just reminds you of your immortality. It's like such a powerful, visceral image. And it helps you reflect on life, the life you're living, how you want to live, and how you're going to live, and how you've lived. Do not forget death. It will change your life. In every instance, I'm just doing it now. I got a bit distracted by doing it. I just think like this gift is so precious, and at some stage I'll be dying on my deathbed. Could be tomorrow, could be in 20 years, could be in 50 years, could be next week, whatever. It could be whilst I'm filming. And I could be dying and just like going to myself, like, why did I not live? Why did I not be present? Why did I not take advantage of this gift that I've got? Yeah, it was hard at times, it was painful at times, but like, I'm never going to get it again. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I don't think I will. Why did I waste it? Why did I not do the things that were good? And like, that thought is so powerful to me that like, it kind of just removes all anxieties, all fears, all doubts. And I just think like, why not? Because I'm in... as they say, as Hector says, in 1,000 years, the bones from our ashes will be dust. And it's true. In 1,000 years, the bones of our ashes, our bones will be dust. The bones of our ashes, the bones of our body will be dust. And it will all be gone. So really feel it right now for what it is. I think that's the most important thing you can do in life, really. Just understand we're mortal and not to waste time. The last Stoic don't, and this wraps it all up with what I just said, don't waste time. The Stoics are very important. I mean, Seneca wrote a book on this because he believed this was an important topic, on the shortness of life. Seneca says it's not that life is so short, but we waste so much of it. And it's true. He also says we act like mortals in all that we do, but we pretend that we're immortals in the way that we live. I completely butchered that quote. But the point is, we live like mortals. We just live our ordinary lives. But we act as if we'll have 1,000 years to do all the things we want to do. We don't. Whilst you're alive, whilst you're present, urgency is upon you. This life that we have right now, for all we know, is all we have. So if you're putting off that thing, that holiday, that message you want to send, that person you want to say hi to, that park you want to walk to, that church you want to visit, that shop you want to check out, that drink you want to drink, that thing you want to do, that guitar you want to play, that song you want to sing, that tree you want to climb. I don't know, I'm just thinking of all the things you could do, that meal you want to cook, that kind deed you want to do, that kind word, that feeling, that weight on your chest that you want to get out there. You don't have long to get rid of it. Like, you really don't. And on the grand scale of all this, you have no time at all to do it as if today were the last day. As Marcus Aurelius says, perfection of character is to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. One of my favorite quotes from his Meditations. So the 7 Stoic don'ts: don't argue what a good man is. Don't pity yourself. Don't be selfish. Don't worry about things outside of your control. Don't be a slave nor a tyrant. That could have been 2. Don't forget death, and don't waste time. That's the 7 Stoic don'ts. And I'm telling you, if you put an importance on stopping them. So a lot of people listen to these things, and I was guilty of just listening to advice. I'll be listening to someone like Inky Johnson or Alan Watts or I don't know. Anyway, I'll be listening to their advice and I go, that's good advice. I remember that. The important thing is you actually do it. Write down the 7 Stoic don'ts or comment the 7 Stoic don'ts, whatever, and actually try cut them out of your life. It will change your life. And just a thing to note about my book, The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life. A lot of people have been saying, they click the link, they're in America, they click it, and they see the video, they click the link of this, and then it comes up with a picture of this, and they're like, is this the same book? It is the same book, exactly the same, just looks different. There's different translations, different understandings, because believe it or not, Americans have different vocabulary, different understandings. Some things, because a lot of people say like, oh, Americans don't even know what this is. That's besides the point. When I'm talking about being in a Tesco car park late one evening and the sun's setting, it's beautiful, the sky's purple, because I know British people feel that. They've been there in that Tesco car park. It's such a visceral feeling of being in there. Maybe your parents are out shopping, you're waiting in the car and you look out and the sunset's beautiful, the sky's beautiful, and it's calm, and you got that feeling. If an American's reading that, they understand what I'm talking about, but you don't get the same feeling. The message isn't conveyed correctly. So that's the point of the translation. I never thought about this until I finished writing my book. The point is to get these little things across. And it takes a lot of work translating from British to American, believe it or not, because I'm speaking to these Americans going like, well, what do you get from that? And they say, well, I'm not going to do accents, but like, I get this feeling. I'm like, but that's not the feeling I'm trying to convey. Like, it's not just about the message, it's about the feeling. So it is very important. And this is America, Canada. This is UK and global, actually. And then there's Dutch translation, just been printed. I don't have it on me. Beautiful book, very beautiful. Serbian, beautiful book, and many more. Spanish, Romanian, 15 different languages. Anyway, that's besides the point. I was just trying to clear up some confusion. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you want to support what I'm doing and you're one of those people that have stuck around for a long time, I really appreciate you, by the way. I see these comments of people that comment on every video. I see people that share every video or most videos, and it's amazing. It makes me feel good. I was struggling actually with content creation recently, and someone commented a comment just saying that I'm doing a good job and keep it up. And I get that comment a lot, but that night I read it and I felt really emotional, and it gave me a lot of motivation. I actually got up the next day and I started writing down loads of stuff, getting prepared for a new content idea I'm working on. It's going to be a big deal for me and for you. You're going to enjoy it. But those comments mean a lot to me. The ratings mean a lot. The reviews mean so much. So if you really want to support me and you're on a stream platform, give me a follow, give me a review. If you're on YouTube, click like, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you. And if you really want to help your friend, share the Stoic message with them, get them involved in Stoicism. It can be life-changing. It doesn't matter if they're old or young, really doesn't matter. You're never too old to learn. You're never too young to start. Thank you and have a wonderful day.